I have a super serious question for you. If social media didn't exist in your life, you couldn't consume it, you couldn't watch YouTube, Instagram, social media, anything, produce on it, what would your life be like? Would you be fulfilled? Would you be excited? Would you have things to look forward to? Would you have a smile on your face? Would you be having experiences? This is a serious question because I truly believe that in today's day and age, so many people are disconnected from the world, unfulfilled, unhappy because of social media and the overconsumption and usage of it. So much so that their whole world gets wrapped around this phone and these apps that if you take it away from them, there's nothing because they spend their whole day on social media. I can even think back to the beginning of my real estate career, right? If we're going to rewind like 12 or 13 years. Even when I was posting on social media, that was little blips in my day, like two or three little moments. I wasn't browsing, I was working. I was out going door to door, cold calling, building my business, and working as an entrepreneur. That's what I was doing, literally all day, every day, reading, right? Like 99% of my day or more was spent in the real world. And I truly believe that right now people are struggling really bad because of this. Their lack of production is because of social media. Their lack of fulfillment is because of social media and watching too many people. And I'm going to challenge you. I'm really going to challenge you to not only become aware of how much time you're spending on these apps and on all of the interwebs, right? Whatever you want to call it. I'm really going to invite you to take stock of your life and say, okay, if I completely remove social media, I didn't show anybody what I did or all that stuff or talked about it, right? Would I be happy with my life? Would I? Would I be proud of the things that I'm doing? Would I enjoy my work, my career, my job, my hobbies? If you have passions, like, I've always been into cars and I'd go to all the car shows and stuff. And the people that I would meet there and the connections that I made, it wasn't just about putting it on social media. If social media was out of the equation, would you really be happy and fulfilled? And if right now you're lacking in those areas, you're not as fulfilled, you're not as happy, then you really need to take a serious look at this thing and say, okay, something needs to change. Like I looked at this morning too. I woke up, I prepped all the stuff for my work. I checked in with my team. I got to read a little bit. I did my morning routine. I enjoy doing that. Like I do. And by 12 every day, by noon, I've done a lot of work. I've worked out. Right now I'm on my way to the gym, right? To the boxing gym to get a quick workout, usually about an hour. And by 12, I've done a lot. And in the afternoon, I have appointments and that kind of stuff. And then after, 5, 6 p.m., I'm pretty much free to do whatever I want, right? I'm already thinking, okay, I'm going to get back to learning certain instruments. I think I'm going to sign up at a Kung Fu studio by the house. And I'm in my life, I'm exploring new things and like I'm engaging in stuff. And I produce on social media. So if I didn't produce on social media, I didn't have a brand, then my whole life would just be doing what I do. I just happen to share with it. I teach people, right? I'm building my real estate business and I use social media as a vehicle to kind of grow what I'm doing. And at the same time, kind of express myself and I enjoy it. But like my phone's on do not disturb all day. Like I'm not browsing, scrolling, you know what I mean? Like I'm not doing that. And if I do go online, it's typically to watch a specific thing or to learn something or to get an idea for something. Like it's specific. I'm not just mindlessly scrolling. But I take a look at a lot of people right now, their lack of production, their lack of happiness and fulfillment, their lack of productivity. And it's because of these damn apps and social media, dude. So as beautiful as this thing is, you guys need to understand that they are a gift and a curse. And for you, the individual, you need to take stock and responsibility for how you're utilizing these things and how you're spending your time. Every waking moment that you have on this planet is an opportunity. Enjoy it. You're never going to be the same age. Every day you're going to get older, right? Things are going to change. Nothing is ever going to stay the same. And to have our lives be wasted because we're spending so much time watching other people or watching crap on social media, what a waste. When you could be learning, you could be reading a book, You could be exploring a new hobby or interest of yours, like signing up at a gym or doing something like that. You could be meeting new people and networking for your work. There's so much more that you could be doing than spending time scrolling, which is what a lot of people do. And I want you to notice, and this will be the challenge that I'll give you over the next week. Monitor and then maybe limit how much time you're spending on social media. And then as those days go on and the week goes by and maybe 2 weeks, start to pay very close attention and see if you notice a shift in your mood, in your psyche, in your fulfillment, and maybe your creativity. Because one thing that I noticed, at least for me, and I find this generally in a lot of people too, typically either like the waking hours of the morning, right, all the way up until noon, and then even for some people who kind of stay up late at night, those early morning hours are typically when people are very creative, and for whatever reason they get ideas and inspiration. And I noticed that with me too. Like when I'm out for my walks, and sometimes I'm up even late at night, or I woke up super early, I have a lot of ideas and I'm jotting down notes and things that I want to do, whether it's, for my team, ideas for my personal life, maybe stuff that I would create for social media to teach or whatever it is. And, in the mornings, I'm super productive. I get a lot done, right? I work out too. And I like to get the bulk of the things that I need to handle that are high priority tasks and things that are a little bit more energy consuming and require more focus. I like getting them done early. And when you're off social media and you're not really messing around on the apps and YouTube and Instagram and TikTok, like you're good, you're locked in, right? Like that's one of the biggest distractions for people is social media, right? You're worried about if people like your posts or comment. You're always, refreshing it. You're checking, the messages, this and that. And it's like an addiction for a lot of people. And when it gets to that point, a lot of people have slipped into it and don't realize it, but simultaneously, I think it consumes them, because a lot of times, a lot of individuals, and you see this a lot with addictions in general, right? When people don't have a lot going on in their real life, or they want to escape it, is when they get lost in these things. Like the people who play video games 24/7, gamble all the time, right? Or now addicted to social media, their real life and what's going on here, again, to them, it's so insignificant, or there's nothing going on, or they don't like it, that they want to escape. And then social media becomes an escape. Oh, I'm just going to watch these people. I'm going to watch this guy, that guy. And it's sad. And we have to see it for what it is. It's a problem, and we got to fix it. And you got to do whatever it is that you need to do to tackle that issue, and start saying, okay, for me, as that individual, what's missing that I'm looking for it somewhere else? Why am I so dissatisfied with my life or my circumstances? Why am I not working every day tirelessly to improve my situation? Why am I just trying to escape instead of constructively building my life every single day and starting where I'm at? And then it goes back to social media. Well, I don't want to share with the world. I don't want anybody to know that I'm struggling. Look, man, the reality is most people out here are struggling. Most people. Why do you think something got announced like the 50-year mortgage? They understand that the average person is struggling. Now, I look at that as kind of crazy. But again, I'm not in the position of barely scraping by, rubbing two pennies together. So I haven't been in that position in a very, very long time. So I can't relate to what it's like to feel like that and be in those circumstances today at the end of 2025. A lot of people have become out of touch with just the average person's experience and existence. So, I look at that, and I know a product of a lot of people struggling and continuing to struggle is social media, which is sad. So I would venture to see what would life be like without social media. And again, I challenge you to limit it, at least become aware of it. I'm not going to tell you to get off and all that, because it's a powerful tool that can be utilized properly. However, most of us do not utilize it properly, and it's become a point of destruction, addiction, too much time spent, too worried about getting validation, to where it's ruined people's friendships, relationships, and so much more. So I'm going to challenge you. What would life be like? Ask yourself that question. What would life be like without social media? Would I be proud? Would I just be a loser? I don't know, right? You're going to have to answer that question, but it's important that you bring that into your perspective, because that has to be answered. And then depending on what the answer is, you're really going to have to make some changes and address it. Otherwise, it's going to keep getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And before you know it, you're watching and browsing social media, but you got nothing going on for you in your own life, and you're miserable. And that's where a lot of people find themselves today, unfortunately. All right, so just a little food for thought, a little different, but what would life be like without social media? Interesting question, right? All right, we'll see you guys.